All right, cool. Welcome to the Cult of Personality Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. I'm your host, per usual, Mikeymcchoppa. And with me today is Lone Dova.
Yes, you're like the one of the first people to get it right on the first try.
There we go. I had to look at your Instagram a couple times because I was like, let me see. Because I know you have it like written out there. And I was like, all right. And like I studied it so I can get it right on the fucking podcast. So we're here. How's
Yeah,
everything going?
it's going all right. Just had my final exams at school. Passed all my classes. We're doing good.
All right. Shout out to you, man. That's what's up. Um,
Yeah.
that's so funny that you mentioned that, man. I bought something recently on Depop, and I fucking that was like 2 weeks ago, and the dude hasn't gotten it to me, shit like that. And I'm like texting this dude for like a week, and I'm like, yo, man, where the fuck is my shit? He's like, oh man, I got caught up in finals. After finals, I'll be able to send it to you. I'm like, fuck you, asshole. Like
I had a
you.
friend, who was starting to sell stuff on Depop not too long ago. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was like, what in the world is Depop? And I looked at it and I'm like, huh, this is pretty cool. I might buy some over there soon. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I fucking love Depop, and usually the stuff that I buy comes within a week span, like a week the latest, dude. So for it to not come for 2 weeks, and he blamed it on his
Mm,
finals, I was like, "Fuck you," because it's not hard to print out a label that they give you and mail that shit out from your mailbox and send it to me on time. But
yeah.
anywho,
I've been
enough
doing
about enough about this random Depop guy. I want to say congrats on your finals and your classes and stuff like that.
no, thank you.
Uh,
Thank
which,
you.
which brings me to ask, how old are you? Cause shit,
Um,
I've been out of school for 2 years now. So
I am 16. I turn 17 next month though, January.
that's
So
that's what's up. Fucking, I
yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't have guessed it because your voice is deeper than mine. I'm fucking 19, so that's
Dude,
cool.
every time like I'm on Discord or something or like talking to people, they always assume I'm like 20 something.
Yeah,
And I guess I'm like mature for my age or something. That's what everyone says. And I don't understand that really.
man, it fucking definitely caught me off guard. 16, that's cool though. So how long have you been doing music since you're so young? Not like to sun you, but like,
Um Oh, no, 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 I get that. I've been doing music since 2019, so since I was 13.
all right, cool. That's what's up.
I
You know
started,
what? Go ahead.
mhm. I started on BandLab on my phone. But the phone is like it's in a drawer back there, but it was like a busted up Android, and it was weird. It was difficult, definitely. But I started because you know it was middle school, so I had a lot of, I guess, mental health issues. And I wanted a way to express myself since I found a lot of comfort in the music I was listening to at the time,
Right.
which was this was when I was big into like X and like My Chemical Romance and 21 Pilots and all them people that really inspired me at the time. And so like I resonated with that music, and I was like, okay, well maybe I should try doing it myself, and it was really cool.
No, yeah, man. And the fact that you started so young is really cool because like a lot of people that we have like on the podcast and stuff like that, like they're like, oh, I started usually around my age range, even older sometimes. So, anywhere from like fucking 24 to 17, I've had, I think, the youngest. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I started like not too long, like 2 years ago, whatever, started at like 15, anywhere from 15 to fucking 18. I started when I was doing music and shit like that, I started at 14. So whenever I do run into people
Yeah.
who start young, I always really admire that because like, like you're really like dedicated to this shit from
Hmm.
like a little baby, 12 years old, 13 years old is like little.
Yeah. And around that time, like everyone at my school was this was everyone was young, 13, 14, like 12, Everyone was like weird about it. People would make fun of me for it a lot. There was a point when I'm not gonna name no names because one of the people that was involved in this is like I'm really close friends with her now. But when I first started, just like a week after I started making music, I pumped out like maybe like 5 songs. And it was like all on my phone. Of course, it wasn't good. They were like terrible. They were terrible. I still have them, but these 2 girls from my school went live on Instagram because I was promoting a lot on like social media and stuff. 2 girls
Right.
from my school went live on Instagram and they played my music and they were drunk. They just laughed at it in front of like 30 people or maybe less
Damn.
than that, but and everyone in the comments was just laughing emoji, and I'm like, dude.
What
And
the fuck?
I actually ended up like taking down all the songs and like I completely like I quit and then I called one of my friends that night and I was like, dude, this sucks. And she told me, she's like, you know what? You should keep doing it because one day when you get big, they're gonna regret doing that and they're gonna want to hang out with you and they're gonna prove them wrong and stuff. And I was like, you know what, you might be right. So I just kept going with it. But dude, it was hard out here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, as you should continue. I completely agree with your friend's sentiment, but dude, that's so fucking like heinous and mean and like cruel to like target someone specifically and do that. So, if anything, that already puts you at like a higher standing than them. They put themselves
Yeah.
lower than you by doing that shit. But no, I feel you. I mean, we all start off pretty rough with the music shit. I know I started off on a fucking iPad with GarageBand and I like didn't have headphones or anything.
Mhm.
I would just record straight into like the little fucking microphone, like the little microphone at the top of the iPad, Stupid shit.
That's what I was doing. A lot of the songs I did were strictly on the audio recorder app. Like hold on. Like this. Um like the audio recorder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
like the one that comes with Apple, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
but it was Android, so it wasn't I mean, it wasn't bad. But I have made a whole like 4 track EP of just me and my guitar and stuff like that. It was like weird like indie lo-fi type stuff. And
right.
I released that and it's on Apple Music now. It's called Lost, but I took 2 of the songs off it because they were pretty not good. So it's just 2 songs and dude, those were weird days. Um a lot of times when I was making songs on my phone back in like 2019, before I got a microphone and laptop and all that stuff, I would make all these EPs and make like print off CDs for them. I'd sell them to kids at my school for like $5, $5 a CD. So
Was
that means like
was that much like a lucrative endeavor? Did you make much money off of it?
I made $30, which got me my first microphone off of
All right.
Amazon. And
All
then I
right.
started making music on the computer. And dude, that means like there's like CDs of mine floating around out there.
Yeah, man, that's fucking hilarious. I mean, it's cool. I respect the hustle, Like I'm not even shitting on it, but like the fact that you were like hustling like CDs, like I haven't heard about that since like 10 years ago.
Oh, dude. Hey man, I was selling to like my grandma and like and stuff like that, man. Hey, it worked. It got me a microphone.
No, yeah,
So
exactly. You kind of like took one aspect of your music and they like had like a
yeah.
snowball effect, You use that to contribute towards something to then like a reciprocation thing. But
Hmm.
um before we get too deep into everything, I have a little bit of a structure that I follow. Most of this is unscripted. However, I like to keep like a little like
Yeah.
guideline. So we have a first question that we ask everybody around here, which is Lone Dova, the name, the image, the aura, and the energy. How did it start? How did it get here? And everything in between. Kind of just the whole origin story.
Okay. Are we talking about the Lone Dova name? Like where did the name come from?
The name came from the music, the way you carry yourself, the whole shebang.
Okay, Lone Dova, it came from. It actually means lonely dragon. Okay.
All right.
Dova comes from a video game I play called Skyrim, which
Okay.
I love that game. Where they call like the dragons, they call them Dova. We are the Dovas, the dragons. But all the dragons in that game, they work for the same purpose of like conquering Tamriel and stuff like that until like you defeat them in the game. But anyways, they all work for the same purpose. I mean, they all go one direction, but like Lone Rangers and like all they're like stand out. They're different. So I put Lone Ranger and Dova together and Lone Dova.
Right.
So like I do my own thing. Like I like to stand up from people,
No, yeah.
which I don't like to follow the crowd, because I don't, you know, not really like that, I guess. And the music, I've bounced around many different styles, but as of recently with my latest album, Somber, I feel like that really was a turning point in it, I guess. But like I like on my phone when I was making music on my phone, like I talked about earlier, I was using like Lil Mosey type beats and like Lil Tech.
Damn. How were those coming out?
Oh man, bad, bad man. It wasn't good, man.
I haven't heard about Little Mosey in like 2 years,
Man,
3 years.
I was like in eighth grade bumping Kamikaze all the time, bro. It was,
Didn't didn't he get didn't he get accused of being like a rapist or some shit?
yeah, I heard about that. I mean, I ain't rocked with Lil Mosey since eighth grade, But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like I'm like that's so funny that you mentioned him. Like earlier, I was talking about Lil Skies with someone, like just talking about rappers that completely like kind of disappeared, and that's like one of the people who I think of, like completely just poof gone.
yeah, it's weird, man. Like, there's a lot of rappers that kind of like, honestly, where is Mario Judah? Like,
Right. But I gotta
that's
ask,
fun.
so what fuck, what brought you to like fucking go for that type of sound in that time period? Lil Tecca, Lil Mosey, just because like it was like the buzz, like what was going on, like what was like trending, or it's just
I
because like
guess because it was fun and it was easy. And like at the time um I was experimenting a lot with like auto tune and stuff. And I was like, you don't I could put like weird implicate like what's the word? I can enunciate things and say things weirdly with like a weird vocal thing and it come out interesting with the auto tune I was using, which like looking back it sucked, but I guess it was just fun at the time.
right. What was I gonna say? Um, so what caused that style change from like the more easy, trendy sound to like, I guess what you're aiming towards now?
It was really when I started, um, I guess this is when I started listening to more music. I stopped limiting myself to just because I was one of those kids who was, just rap. I'd listen to just rap, and I was listening to a lot of rock at the time too. But I found artists like Teen Suicide and like Scruff Puppy, which me and Scruff Puppy are friends now. A lot of that's cool. And I found like Joy again and Bedside Kites and a lot of indie music. And when I really got into indie music and that like lo-fi stuff,
Right.
um, is when that really took a big turn, like a turnaround. And that's when I eventually made like the 4-track EP with my guitar and my phone and stuff like that, and like there's a raw authenticity of it, which I think that's when it really turned around from that.
Yeah. And I want to bring it back even a little bit. So like, what initially caused you to like want to make music?
Um, because I was dealing with a lot of depression and I was young and I was dealing with a lot and I didn't know how to express that with like words and like I was going to a counselor at my school and it was really like even then it was difficult to like talk like and express what I was feeling and I was like okay well maybe with music because like music makes me feel maybe I can put what I feel into the music as well. Because I
Right.
was listening to like the Black Parade album by My Chemical Romance. Like My Chemical Romance really like December 2018 is when I really got into him, and then it's like really just opened my mind. And then listen to the 17 album by X, and like hearing how he put his pain into the music, and it was like, okay, well, then maybe I can do this myself and really express myself. And then it started working, and I started getting a lot of like a lot out of it, you know.
Right.
Like it like originally didn't start for like I didn't make music because I want to blow up. I want to be big time rapper guy or whatever. I was like, okay, I want to maybe have a coping way, and then people started catching on to it and liking the music I was making, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can go somewhere with this, and yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so funny you mentioned projects and album or projects and artists such as like Black Parade, My Chemical Romance, and 17X and all that stuff because I when I was in about eighth grade, I like really dove into like a heavy MCR phase, and that was around 2016. And the only
Mhm.
reason why I dove so heavy into it was because of like I was really heavy into like 21 Pilots and Panic at the Disco and stuff like that. Like when I was in like middle
Mhm.
school, like all of middle school.
Oh yeah, the album Vessel by 21 Pilots really, dude. I think it's because like specific events that happened in my life. You know, like I attached that music with the events, and I don't know. My brain has like a weird thing where I attach certain like music to certain times in my life, and it's I don't know.
I know, I completely understand you. I mean, like if I had a soundtrack to like my fucking 3 years of like middle school and stuff like that, like it would all be 21 Pilots and like Panic at Disco, like especially like you're talking about like Vessel and shit like that. But I was all like I was really into like the more obscure shit too, like fucking regional at best and shit. And like his and the fucking what's his name? Tyler Joseph, his fucking solo album and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
I was really into all that stuff too. Like that carried me through. Like if I could fucking think of like I don't know my greatest middle school memories, whatever. Like all those songs would be attached to those things. So I feel you on that sentiment. But originally, what I was going to say too is talking about these albums like 17 and Black Parade and stuff like that. I had heavy phases with all of them. Like at the age of like 13,
hmm
14, and that honestly what intrigued me too into more like the SoundCloud wave, and I got eventually into like Little Peep and stuff like that, but also just like really intrigued me into a very emotional, vulnerable music.
yeah,
And eventually it inspired me to start making my own music. So I feel you. Like this is like I relate to you kind of thing, you know?
yeah. That's kind of how it was in me. Like, what's funny is like I found this picture of me from middle school. You could definitely see that face, bro. Ah, I had the straightened black hair and stuff too.
He had the leafy is here bowl cut going on.
Oh man, that was terrible, dude. What was another one of the things like the key points? And there's a name, the origin, the
The name, the image, the aura, the energy. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, your whole thing. Like you're just whole person, the whole Lone Nova. So whatever like even like how you dress and stuff like that, just the whole thing. But if you don't have anything
uh,
to add more to the question, we can always move on.
um the way I dress. Well, I got this from Walmart. I got this shirt from Hot Topic. I'm wearing some Spider-Man pajama pants. Oh man, don't even get me into superheroes, man. And comic books. Oh man,
You're a comic
that'll
book
be
guy?
yeah. Well, I don't have a lot of comic books. My brother does. Me and my brother, we grew up on like the whole MCU like movies and the cartoons and stuff. Oh man, I'm a big
Right.
Spider-Man guy. Like I got a Spider-Man drawing from Comic-Con right there. I have Into the Spider-Verse poster right behind me right there.
That's what's up.
I have Spider-Man with John pants. I used to have a Spider-Man mask, but I gave it to my ex-girlfriend's little brother, and
Very, very noble of you. Um,
And he was the only wholesome one there, Lord.
when it comes to superheroes, personally, I'm a Batman guy, but right behind him is Spider-Man. I gotta represent.
Batman movie poster right beside the Juice WRLD one. Right
That's what's up.
there. Point it. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I I fuck with Batman because his whole like dark gimmick or whatever. But I gotta love Spider-Man because I'm a native New Yorker. Who doesn't love Spider-Man? You know?
I only went to New York one time. That was like when I was no, that was many years ago. I was maybe 11,
Where are you
maybe
from?
11. I live in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
I
I have
know
a
Fallacy. He used to live in South Carolina. It's
yes.
one of the only other artists that I know of that is from South Carolina.
Yeah, I saw that you were followed by two good friends of mine, Fallacy and Fiji. And I was wondering like if you guys like collaborate or anything, because I don't know. I guess I'm a little out the loop, and that's crazy because that's my friend. You know, I keep in the I'm in the loop. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I was like
Um.
Londova. I was like, yeah.
Me and Fallacy, we met last year because this is how we met. I'm friends with a guy named Dirty Haven. He's a very good friend of mine. We've been friends since like 2020.
I
We
I
never
know
met in
him
person.
or them. I know them.
Yeah, Dirty Havens. Yeah. Uh, they they responded to my story where I said like, what artist should I make songs with, or like who should I work with next? And they told me Fallacy, AED. So I went and checked out Fallacy's SoundCloud, and really good. I really liked what I was hearing. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, we should work on something together. And I sent him a song called Think of Me, which just now had like 2,000 streams on SoundCloud. And he hopped on it. We didn't talk much after that. And then I think it was this year we started getting like pretty close. Like we're pretty good friends now. We're talking about making an EP together. We have one song done for it. Um, and he's on the first Somber album, and I'm releasing an album on Friday, and
Oh shit.
it's like the second Somber. Um, and he's on Rockstar with me and Karachu Jody, which yeah. Fiji wants to make a song too, so I gotta make it open for her as well.
Yeah, that's what's up. Those are all very good friends, and I'm always curious because you know it's like this whole scene and the whole way I handle everything with this whole podcast and everything is like it's a series of tubes. Everything's connected. So 1 second. Excuse me. There we go. It's a whole series of tubes, so everybody's connected. So I find one person and I fucking find like three more people through them and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun when I find someone and it comes full circle. Like for example, like I find you, and then you're cool with Fallacy and Fiji, which I've been cool with for about Fiji. I've known for 3 years now. We went to high school together, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and Fallacy 2 years now because we had like a whole like music group chat collective thing going on.
Oh man, group chats. I was in a collective. Okay,
Tell me
funny.
about that.
The X's in my name.
Uh huh.
They're actually O's or supplements for O's. I was in a collective in 2019 called Gloom Gang, which we made a whole tape. Gloom Gang is a was a collective I was in when I was under the name Pluto's Notebook.
That was
Pluto's
your
Notebook was
that was your old alias.
yeah, that was my old alias, Pluto's Notebook. And because originally I was called okay, I had a whole lot of aliases before I stuck with Londova. There was I started off as Goner, and then I was Pluto, then I was Pluto's Notebook, and then I was Londova. And that was a whole thing because
Did
I had
you?
like like identity crisis or something.
I was gonna say, did you build like much of a fan base under those aliases, or is it kind of just like low key under the radar?
Mm-mm. I hit my first 100 followers on SoundCloud when I was Londova.
Okay.
So it wasn't really big back then, but a guy named Guillotine found me when I was Pluto's Notebook, and he was like, "Hey, I started this group called Gloom Gang. We're wondering if you want to join." And I was like, "Okay." So I joined the group. Everyone in there is like 20s and like their 30s almost, and I'm like, "Dang." And a lot of them had like X's in their names,
Right.
like X's supplementing for O's. So when I made Lone Dova, I was like influenced by them. And if I could go back and make it just O's, I would, because people have a hard time like pronouncing the name.
When you have to put your name in your bio, you know it's definitely like I knew you definitely had to run into like a mispronunciation like a bunch of times. Like
Hmm.
what do people call you outside of Lone Dova? Like what do they mix it up with?
Like Lane Diva, Lane Dova. Uh, yeah, it's like it's always mixed up with A's.
Yeah, like a
Lane Dava and stuff like that, and it's but I can't change it now because it's like I'm too like founded, like I'm too established now.
you think if you changed it to O's like it would like cause a confusion or something like with people who listen?
Well, the big thing is okay, so this is like whole segment right here. In 2019, I made this song called Valentine,
Okay.
right? And I sent the song. It was a guitar song. It was like dun 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 Valentine in December. You say you love me. I made that song, and it got sampled by Caps Control, which is a producer, and an artist named Ronin bought the beat for like $1,200. So I got
Okay.
$600. Caps Control got $600, and now the song has like over 200 million streams.
Damn.
And I'm the guitar, I'm the hook, I'm the melody, I'm kind of the flow because he used my flow for his hook,
Right.
you know. And on Genius, they credit Lone Dova with X's, and that's
Uh,
kind of low key. I'm
uh
not throwing shots at nobody, but that's kind of the only credit I get.
Yeah, no, I feel you. So it's kind of like if you want to keep that buzz or keep that recognition in that aspect, you know, you might as well just keep the X's and keep the name. That's
Hmm.
crazy though. Isn't Ronan fucking that sounds familiar. Doesn't he have a song like Peep or some shit? Or like he's a
No,
producer? Damn, Ronan.
nah. Uh, you know a song called "All Girls Are the Same" by Ronin?
I know a couple all girls are the same, but not by Ronan.
I might just pull this up right here, dude. Hey, I own some of the song. It won't get copyrighted.
What is it? Ronen?
Ronin.
Okay, okay, so it's a different Ronan.
And it's like one
I know a undead Ronan.
there's like the song was on MTV. It
Really?
was it's one of the biggest songs on Trash Gang YouTube channel. Has like 50 million on Trash Gang.
Let's see. Hold on, we're doing some research right now. Wow.
Um
I must be out the fucking loop. Ronan.
this is me right here.
I'm not sure if I hear anything.
Yeah, it's just like dude. That's like
Uh,
my biggest accomplishment. I get checks from BMI like every 3 months of like $600 because that song.
That's crazy. That's dope. Okay, so I didn't even know of this. I'm seeing the song here right now with 1 million views on YouTube and shit, and 59 million on this one. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in that song. But
That's so. How did that even come to be? I mean, well, you told us, but like, it was just kind of like a
uh
random by chance thing.
the beat got okay. He put it Ronan, not Ronan. Hold on. Caps Control put the beat on his YouTube channel, like free for profit beat, like X type beat Valentine, right? And again, like 300,000 views on YouTube, the beat, because he was a pretty established producer on YouTube for a long
Right.
time. And Then let me see. Um, Sad Boy Prolific wanted to buy the beat at first, and then he never bought the beat. And then Ronin reaches out saying, "Hey, I want to buy this beat." And originally I was kind of like, I'm not okay. If Ronin sees this video or podcast, he's probably gonna be mad at me because he's mad at me already because he tries to kind of control things. He's a really defensive person, and I gave him the beat, rights to the beat, but he does not own. He owns the beat, but he doesn't own the sample, which is my original song. So
Right.
there's a difference between owning the beat and owning the sample. I own the sample 100%, so I can do whatever I want with it. I posted on TikTok about me being on the song and got like 500,000 views on TikTok about me being on All Girls Are the Same. And then there's a lot of people saying, "Hey, we like your version a lot. You should remake it now since you've changed a lot with your voice and everything." I'm like, okay. So I remade Valentine and I added like a verse and a new chorus and everything on it. And it was really cool. Right. And then Rona was like, "You can't do that. You can't make a new version because um you signed a contract, yada yada." I'm like, nowhere in the contract says you own my song. I can do whatever I want. If the
Right.
contract said that you would own my song, I would have never signed it.
Right.
Looking back, I wouldn't have signed it now. Like now looking at it, I would never have signed it now because they kind of they kind of just bought the beat from me, credited my sample, kind of sweep me under the rug, you know? Because the fact that there's people when I posted a video about me being on the song on TikTok, a
Hmm.
lot of people said I was lying, that I wasn't on the song. They were trying to get clout from him. When I promoted my new Valentine, right? People said, "Oh, you're stealing Ronan's song." I'm like, "It's me. It's literally me, dude." So like, I have this huge accomplishment of like being on a song that was on MTV
But you were
in
kind of also
Australia.
like unrecognized, you know?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that,
and it sucks, man. It sucks. It honestly hurts. I cried a lot about it.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy that you are the foundation, the fundamental to this very popular song, and this shit
Uh
gets
huh.
mad clout. People are calling you a liar. This motherfucker has the audacity to say that you can't do whatever with your creative liberties. That's crazy.
I mean, I get paid for the song. I'm credited as a writer, and I get writer's profits, and I'm credited as a co-producer, and
Okay.
I think I'm credited as co-producer. Anyways, he tags me in the post on Instagram, and I mean, he does a lot to credit me, but it's still like he wanted me to make a video for him to post on his Instagram of me saying, "Thank you, Rona, for changing my life."
The fuck are you?
When
The fuck is he trying to make you a charity case or some shit?
like, "Thank you, Rona, for changing my life with the song." And I'm like, I'm thinking, the song wouldn't exist without me. The beat came first.
Right.
That's and all who said all girls are the same? I said it. It's in my sample. I said all girls are the same in the end. And that's when the beat drops.
Right.
The part of the song that blew up on TikTok is my part.
So
Really?
that's so weird though, because he's trying to have like the savior role, like, oh, thank you for saving my life.
Yeah.
Like, you made the track.
Listen, I don't have nothing against him. Okay, he's a cool guy. I just think like, and then his manager contacted me, called me on my phone saying, "Sorry for Ronan, you can make your own version of the song because it's yours." He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
He didn't say it like that. He didn't say it like that, but
The gist of it.
to kind of dumb it down, he said that, and he said, "I'm sorry for him acting like this. He's just very sensitive because he thought I was trying to like undermine him,
Right.
like to try to like step on him and make my own version."
Right.
But that's not what I was just trying to. His fans wanted me to do it. I was like, his fans wanted me to do it. Don't like, but
Yeah.
it's just it's to the point like I've tried to talk to him like, hey, like I feel like I'm an important part of the song too. Of course, the song wouldn't have blown up without him. It wouldn't have blown up without him. I give him credit where credit is due, of course, you know. But it's just like he thinks I'm trying to disrespect him all the time, and I'm just asking for a little like recognition, you know. Like
Yeah, man.
it's too late for that now, but you know it is what it is. And there's been like yeah, it's a whole big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's like tone down your ego just a little, like not you, him. You,
Hmm.
I don't know. Just looking from the outside, and I'm like, I personally wouldn't be like chill with the whole fucking video thing and the whole like trying to come at me for what I can do with my song and stuff like that. But people are gonna,
He tried he tried to come at me for the TikTok as well. He tried to like get mad at me for making that TikTok saying like I'm lying about him because I said POV, you're in this song and nobody knows, and I explained the whole situation, and then he's like, you're trying to make us look bad, and I'm like, I'm just explaining the situation. I'm like, I'm not lying. I'm just saying like, but yeah,
hey,
it was a whole thing, man.
you're telling it how it is, and he's trying to control a narrative, and it's kind of whack. But yeah, no, that's dope though.
Yeah,
I didn't know any of this about you. That you had this whole like fucking sample and this whole song. I'm looking at it
uh,
right now. 59 million views. That's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. Um, dude, like I made that song Valentine, and and then like oh man, I had like ever since I made that song, and a lot of people have been like found my music because of that. I've
Right.
had like people DM me about like hey, thank you so much. Like your music really helps me through a lot, and it's kind of like it's got a lot of pressure on my shoulders, you know. Like a couple of weeks ago, it was like no, it was like a couple months ago. I was going through like old DMs from like years ago, and
Right.
I had someone reach out to me saying like, "Hey, I really like your music. Like, keep it up." I'm like, "Oh, that's," and I was like, "Oh man, that's nice rereading like an old message that's like heartwarming." You know, like I click on the profile and it said like remembering like they had passed away, and like it was a memorialized account,
Right.
and that kind of just like really put it in perspective. Like, dude, like I impacted a person like before they passed away, like. And it's like, dude, like these aren't just fans, you know? These are like real people with like real problems, and like I know it's kind of like like everyone should know that, but like
It
um
puts it into perspective.
hmm and like ever since then I kind of been, you know, getting more personal with my fans or the people who support me. I don't like to look at them as like fans, like but like people who support me, you know?
Right. Supporters.
Yeah, um I had a guy who was in I think he was in France who was like, dude, you're like one of the nicest people that who've like reached back to me that I've liked their music
Right.
because a lot of them take like days or never respond in general. And I had to like use Google Translate to talk to them because they were speaking French. Originally they were speaking English, but they said that their English wasn't as good as everyone else's. So like, okay, man, I'll just help you out. I'll talk to you in your native language because I can understand how it could be difficult.
Right.
And this is when I released my 2022 Spotify Wrapped, and I had like 500,000 streams this year. I think so. Um, oh yeah. So, oh yeah, I was talking about collectives. Collectives, I forgot.
Yeah, man. It's fine though. We can completely go off track, and it's fine. I that's what makes the podcast what it is. So we'll take it back now to collectives and continue on there.
Oh man, I got off track a lot. Um, but then and after I made the Valentine beat, a guy named Matthew the artist. Method the artist reached out to me, and because they tagged me in a post, and he said like, new album dropping soon. My mom's home. Anyways,
Mhm.
uh, anyways, he said like new album dropping soon. It was his album, Addictive Traits, and he used a Valentine beat, put me as a feature. I
Right,
remember I had told him I was like, because at this time that was getting like my Spotify is getting flooded with like me being put as a feature,
right,
and I don't want to be put as a feature on something that I'm not like actually collaborating on. So I was like, hey, don't put me as a feature because I don't want that on my page because I don't know him.
right.
And then after that, we had he had followed me, I followed him back, yada yada. I went live on Instagram and he joined my live and like he requested to be a part of the live. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. And no one was watching the live. So it's kind of like a FaceTime call or something, and we talked for like 2 hours, man. And
Right.
like to this day, we're like best friends. And like we actually he lives in Arkansas. In last like summer of 2021, he drove to my house and we hung out for like a week. Like he stayed at my place for like a week and we made like a whole bunch of songs. But in 2020 when we became friends online, we we made a collab EP called Mad, and we're like, okay, well, we're really good as like rappers together. Let's become a duo. We call ourselves Lockers. Call ourselves Lockers.
And
I
where did that
think we
name
call
come
it
from?
because we talked about a lot of school experiences and how a bunch of crazy stuff happened in the locker rooms.
Hmm.
And so we're like, oh, Lockers. We can call ourselves Lockers. And that kind of stuck for a while. And when 2021 came around, me and him together started making a lot of like friends with producers and other artists. And we're like, how about we expand the duo into a whole group? And we're like, you know what? That could work. And we had like a low flyer. He's a really talented producer. Valet King. He's a really good producer as well. Um, Saber, dude, you need to interview that guy next. Like interview Saber next, dude. He's really good.
I'm always
Um,
down to fucking. I like talking about collectives because the great thing that comes out of collectives and talking about them is like I get to interview like all the members of them, and like not only is it good for the podcast, but it helps whomever we're talking about, you know. But continue on.
mhm. It was like Saber and his friend Alex Knight, and then um we just started like a visual effects team, or like a visual effects side of the group.
Right,
And oh yeah, Aikido was also in the group, but he there was a lot of people who were like in and out of the group. But we we just we disbanded as a group like like a couple weeks ago. Because we realized that we were like kind of at a standstill as a group. We were kind of all going in our own directions.
right,
It didn't really involve lockers as a group because we were like focused on like the chemistry we had together, but we started like doing different things. And I mean it was really upsetting. Like we're all still friends, but like that was kind of like my branding for a long time.
right.
And
I mean, yeah. Anytime I've been a part of collective, it's fucking blown up, and it's always because of creative differences or hold on, what the fuck is this? Some shit popped up on my screen. Give me 1 second. Please quit. There we go. All right. Anyhow, it's well, it was either because of creative differences or most recently, we had a collective, but people just kind of go their own way. You're absolutely right. Like some people choose to do the music shit, some people choose to go to work, go to school. For me, I fucking sit on my ass and do podcasts now. So, shit
yeah,
happens. But yeah, I feel you. But I get the upsetting thing too because it was really like be like trying to put work into something, trying to put so much work into something and like
mhm.
making it a brand and trying to make it something and people just don't have that same passion or drive or effort for the same and it's not their fault, they're just doing their own thing, but the fact that it doesn't like meet halfway kind of sucks,
Yeah, and I mean, um, like one of the big things was I wasn't I was really picky, and I think a lot of it's my fault. I was I was like kind of picky on who was like in the group and who was out of the group, and there was Saber really had a lot of ideas, and since they kind of saw me as like the leader of the group, kind of the leader had a I was I don't like to put myself above people, but like I was higher on up in the group. There was like 7 or 8 of us.
Right,
Um, and he would come to me with ideas, and I'd be scared to like let like it grow in a certain directions. Like he wanted people to join that I didn't know, and that kind of threw me off a bit because I want to have personal relationships with everyone that's in the group
right, like a
to where it's
closely
not
knit
like,
circle.
hmm and I guess that kind of threw it off because I was holding it back from growing into something that could be really special. But also, there's a lot of diversity in the group. Like diversity is good, but when it's too diverse, like me, and Matthew, we work really good. Like we're like that when it comes to a song, but
Right,
he's really like lyrical, miracle type style. That's everyone calls it that. Like he's influenced by like um a lot of people he's like I don't think he's influenced by it, but a lot of people compare him to Eminem. Almost he has that style. And me and him we really like have a good contrast in that way. That
right.
makes it interesting. But he kind of stopped being really productive in the group, which is like he stopped being productive in general as like he used to. Like he's still dropping, but not as consistent as he used to be because he recently had a son recently, which the his kid's about to be a year old this month, which is
Congratulations.
congratulations. I was so happy for him. Um he's young, but he's doing the best he can, which is it makes me happy seeing one of my close friends like become a father like that, and some makes me really happy. And
Right.
it's like props to shout out to him and his wife, man. They're doing awesome. Um,
Shout out them.
yeah, but so like put a lot in his hands. So that kind of, and since me and him are like the founders of the group, me going a completely different direction and start working with like people that aren't involved in lockers and him not being able to be as consistent as he wants to be,
Right.
kind of threw off the chemistry within the group. So uh we just decided, peacefully like, okay, well, there's not much going on anymore. Maybe we should just, go our separate ways. Like we're still friends, still close, and can still work together, but there's no purpose for lockers as a group anymore, which, you know, it
Yeah,
sucks, but
it's like a mutual ending, a mutual agreement.
yeah, like we might join back together later in the future, but right now we don't really see that happening, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, yeah, as long as you guys are all even like after being together, whatever, afterwards disbanding and whatnot, like as long as you guys are all, I guess, going your own direction and working at your own paces and stuff like that, whatever works best for each person individual. That all is well, and it's not like hostile or bad blood or like bridges burnt or anything like that, you know?
hmm I don't think we've ever really had any like beef or anything. Me and Matthew had like some fake beef with another friend of ours. The guy wasn't in lockers, but a guy named Slim Guts. We've been friends for like since 2020. We had like a little, it was like a little fake beef because like we're just poking shots at each other, but it was all out of fun. I think some people took it seriously, but we was like, okay, like this is like for clout, this is for like publicity stunt, I guess. But
Right.
we thought it was funny. We thought it was hilarious. Uh, yeah. I don't think I've ever really had like serious beef with anybody. Oh man. when that stuff with Ronin went down, I had people from my comment section like go to his post, like comment like, "Hey, give Londoa his credit, show him some love, like recognition." I'm like, I didn't ask them to do that, so
Right.
like that's that. That's all their free will right there. That's not me.
They were
Don't come
starting
attacking me.
they were starting beef for you.
No, man.
Oh, they're gonna ask. Moving onward, unless you have anything more to add about collectives or were any more collectives that you were a part of after Lockers and
Um,
Gloom Gang.
no. Yeah, I wasn't. I haven't been in anything more than that.
All right, no, that's fair. I mean, trust me, I've been in like fucking like I've been in like 3 or 4 collectives and they all like blow up. It's not fun, especially when they all blow up. It's like a waste of it's like it feels like a waste of time or like a waste of energy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But moving onward, we mentioned a little before. We usually have a second question, but there's no real order to this. Oh, I like to talk about musical inspirations. So we talked about things like MCR and 21 Pilots and X and stuff like that, but really just like kind of go down a list and go down a whole, like a listen and reason, or just go down a list of artists that kind of brought you to where you are now and started
Mm-hmm.
you on this musical journey.
There is a lot. When it comes to music, I'd say one of my biggest inspirations is my dad. My dad, he was in a couple of bands and he has some hip hop music that he's made, like way before I was born. And he's really where I get my musical abilities from, like his side of the family and him mainly. And like every time I make a song, I always like show it to him before I release it, before I show anyone else. I like
Right,
call him into him like I'm like, "Hey yo, dad, come here, listen to this." And he listens to it and tells me what he thinks about it. And like I'm not like um I have really supportive parents, which is something not everyone is blessed with. But it's really been a help having them like support me in like what I want to do in my dreams that I have. So I'm very blessed with that.
right.
So
Yeah, no. I've
he's
known
really
I've known people with parents that fucking send them to like fucking boot camp because they didn't approve of their music and shit like that. So,
yeah
eh,
so yeah my dad's one of my biggest inspirations. But other artists is like definitely X. X really opened my ears to down the path of the music I started listening to, and then like I found Juice World like late 2018. Uh, Juice WRLD's awesome, bro. Like that man, these are some wonders. Uh, Another artist, definitely Peep. I found Peep after he died. It's like 2019 is when I found Peep. I thought he was really cool. I could relate to him a lot. Um, these are like artists sound basic, but
no, I mean,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, we've had a lot of people talk about X and Peep and like Suicide Boys and stuff like that, but you're the first person to mention their fucking father as a musical inspiration, so that's new and innovative, you know. But continue
um
on, yeah.
Teen Suicide, the the really good band. I have them on vinyl. I also have Ghostman. Ghostman's awesome. Billie Eilish just a little bit. Um, Not much Billie Eilish, but the way she can the way she records, dude, holy crap, bro. I seen this video a couple days ago, the way she records. She records like five different, not five, but like multiple different layers of the same thing, and then chops them up and puts it all as one, like combines them, and like
Right.
no one can even tell that they're like cut, you know? And that's insane. And the way she writes is really beautiful. Um, Scruff Puppy, also known as Cry to Jody, it's one of my other biggest inspirations when it comes to like acoustic. And then Nirvana, My Chemical Romance, Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, uh, My Bloody Valentine, Blink-182, Slipknot, just not much Slipknot, but a little bit.
Just a little.
I like Midwest emo music. Like Midwest music is awesome. Like Free Throw. American football.
That's
Um,
so funny you mentioned Midwestern emo because yesterday on my Instagram story, I had posted some video of some dude who looked like Young Lean dancing to Never Meant by American Football. And then I proceeded to then on the next slide recreate the exact same fucking dance, and it was hilarious. But I
oh
really like Midwestern emo too, so I was like the whole like joy of it all. It's like, no, yeah,
my
that's
God.
great. This
When I started, what were you saying? Continue.
I was gonna say the guitar in Midwestern emo is usually like my favorite, like the very unconventional guitar. But continue on what you were saying.
The riffs of that is like insane. I
Right.
like when I started listening to a lot of SoundCloud, like just the SoundCloud app and like discovering on like artists like that, and I found like Midwest emo trap stuff. Like, dude, that was crazy. Like Justin Parks, Sin Flowers, um, Kennedy XOXO, that whole scene they have, like, dude, those are some talented people, man. Like Skeel, bro, that was insane when I found that. I found that and I was like, huh, I never
Midwest,
heard this before.
yeah, Midwestern emo trap, or yeah, it's something that definitely intrigues me. I've never heard of that before
Oh
at
my
all.
God, I'll send you some links, man.
Yeah, put me
Um,
on.
some other people that inspire me. Definitely Suicide Boys and like 3 6 Mafia, Emin, Eminem, um, 21 Pilots. Man, who else? Oh, there's a lot more than that.
You got a lot of variety in there, though. It's like you're like jumping back and forth between like a lot of alternative, more rock oriented genres, and then a little more dabbling into like hip hop and rap and stuff like that, which is always cool to have that uh
hmm
diversity, that variety. It really
Uh,
helps.
Bon Iver, Elliott Smith, Halsey. Oh, Halsey's awesome. Big Time Rush as well. I'm not
Shout
gonna
out.
lie, Big Time Rush is like I grew up on Big Time Rush. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think Big Time Rush, iCarly, and Victorious were like my holy trinity of like childhood. But
Yeah.
Big Time Rush fucking slaps. I My best friend occasionally will fucking listen to Boyfriend, just because why not? And I always
Oh my
find it
gosh.
I find it
Couple
hilarious, but it's also great.
couple weeks ago, I sat down in my room and just listened to the entire Big Time Rush self-titled album. My headphones, and like for an hour straight. I just like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, this is actually pretty fire.
How was that experience?
It was awesome. I do that all the time. Like I just sit in my room and just when I first heard like listen to Anti Icon by Ghostman, that whole album,
Right.
I did it like in the dark that night. I just sat there and listened to the album, like headphones on. Gave me some of the worst anxiety ever, dude.
Really?
Like it, dude. On the song Calamity, there was like a jump scare on that song. I'm like, what the? Oh. Because like it was like towards the end of the song and kind of stopped and did this like weird ambience like "Doo," and all of a sudden like he just screams.
Damn, that's crazy.
It,
I've never
and
I
it peaked the headphones and just scared me, dude.
how often do you really have auditory fucking audio jump scares in music nowadays?
Never, dude. And it's like that's what I love about Ghostman is because I like he has music that nobody else can make. Like, oh, another artist I love, Gasham. Gasham is awesome. He's really good. He's underground. Steel 11, amazing, amazing artist.
No, yeah, you definitely got to put me on. When it comes to Ghostman, I know a lot of people very much fuck with Ghostman and admire him for being so popular, but also being independent, 100% independent, like no label,
hmm
nothing. I admire that myself. I'm like, shit, he's really securing the bag, to do merch, to do videos, to do music, to do tours, all this shit, whatever, all on your own or like with a little team. is really a lot, but it's admirable, and
Mhm.
it pays off way more in the end when you're making more money. So
Yeah, no, it's like, dude, like another thing that I go to for inspiration, which I'm probably gonna do this week, is there's sometimes I just got like a week where I'm just watching a whole bunch of movies, like film, like those movies, like movies are really big inspirations for me as well. Um, when I made my somber album, when I made that album, that's when I watched the Batman movie and like the
with
dark, gloomy,
the new one,
the new Batman with Robert Pattinson.
that was really
Uh,
good.
that's a great movie, but it's like the shots they did and like the whole ambience of the movie where Gotham was like really dark and eerie and like it was like all gloomy and stuff. I put that into the music I was making and made it like darker tones and darker like shades of music. Because like when I listen to music, I can see colors,
Right.
and so when I hear that album now, I kind of just see like black, gray, like dark blue, like darker shades. And so that's what I try to do. Like I try to when I make a song, I try to recreate a feeling. And if I can get people to feel the feeling that I was feeling when I
Then you
made the song,
succeeded.
then I succeeded. I've had people tell me that some of my songs feel like acid trips, like a bad trip. And
Do you
there's a
take
song I
that? Do you take that as an insult or a compliment?
compliment, like because that's a very strong feeling. And if
Right.
someone can feel a strong feeling from a song, that means it's a good song.
Right.
Like I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of that. I've been clean from all that for about 2 years. So that's it's a personal thing for me. Like not a lot of people know this about me, but like I don't think a lot of people hear my music and assume that I'll smoke weed and do all that stuff because I mention it a lot in my music. But it's mainly like not in a positive light. I'm not sitting here trying to say like, oh, I cap in my rap, which sometimes I do.
Sometimes a
Sometimes I
little cap in my rap.
like I say I be busting my Beretta on someone's dome. No, I do not shoot guns. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
To
no,
burst.
I'm not gonna lie. Like a good 99% of people are capping in their rap.
Exactly. Name an artist that does everything they do in their music that they say they do in their music. I
Uh,
highly doubt.
it's like
Young boy,
someone who's like locked up.
young boy might
Young Thug.
might yeah,
Young Young Thug is fighting a case because he had no cap in his rap right now. So
just take it.
yeah, but yeah, literally. What was I gonna say? Fuck. What was I saying? Oh yeah, in capturing mood. No, yeah. So to capture all that feeling and stuff like that, or to like try whatever, it's definitely what's gonna get you like I think would get you far. I'm not like a fucking music advice master or anything, but
Hmm.
like me as like a person
No,
like looking from the outside in, it's like people like to resonate with something. People like to feel included or seen by something or understood by something. So if you can pack all this emotion into something that people can resonate with, like, that's how you build like a fucking cult following.
yeah, and like a lot of times when I represent or not represent, like I show someone my music, like a lot of times they express to me how authentic and how raw and genuine the music is. And a lot of they're like, oh, I never heard something like that before. Like something is so genuine and authentic. And I'm like, I didn't know that wasn't normal when I first started hearing that. I'm like, oh, I thought like I guess so. Like I can hear the raw pain that you put into the music, and it's like, yeah. I feel like there's just certain songs of mine that really capture the raw emotion very well, and a lot of them are about like personal events that happen. You know,
Right.
like I don't want to get like too like deep into sad, but there's a lot of songs that talk about like loss because like I've had a friend who passed away like many years ago, and I have a couple of songs about that situation. And I think when that happened, it was a real like turning point in my life because I was 12 when they passed away, and they were 16, and it was it was terrible. It was really sad, and
Yeah, you guys are
me
you
and
guys
my
are
me,
kids.
me and my brothers had to deal with that because we all knew her, and I guess just going through that experience at a young age really changed like my mentality on the way I look at the world. Like I used to look at it through the eyes of a kid, you know? And then I went through something that typically adults go through, you
Right,
know?
losing a friend is something you really don't imagine happening until you're
So
older.
and so I kind of looked at the world differently. I was like, every time I call a friend or something, before I hang up, I'm like, I love you, bro. Like I care about you. Like I love you. Not like we hang up because like, you never know when it's like gonna be the last time you like lay your eyes on somebody. Like it sucks. It
Yeah,
sucks.
I try
So,
holding the same principle with people as well, like with phone calls and stuff like that. Even like for my friends
mhm,
who like aren't emotionally the most emotionally like expressive, like my best friend.
mhm,
He's very quiet, he's very like serious and like not serious. He's very stern though with like how he speaks. So I'll be like, I love you.
mhm.
And I'm like all goofy and shit with my friends, I'm like, I love you, dude. Love you, bro. And he's just like, cool. It's just him. And
Yeah,
so yeah, no, I
yeah,
feel you though.
yeah. And then like a lot of like family stuff went down when I was, like in middle school and stuff like that. This is like before music really. And
Right.
then so I had a lot of stuff go on in a short period of time. And I like also I'm a very like passive person. So like I'm very caring about people. So later on in life, a lot of people like walked on me, like stepped on me and took advantage of like my kindness and just used me. And it's like really, really sucks. Like, especially like my most recent relationship, like I, one of the main reasons I stayed with her for so long was because like I was scared of hurting her if I wanted to leave. But then she left me. Uh, she like cheated on me a lot of times. Um, if she's listening to this, which I don't know if she will. I know she listens to my music, but
Gotta give her
nah,
love.
I'm not trying to show no hate, bro. But yeah, really, a lot of songs might be about her. Let's just be honest.
Let's just keep it real. No, yeah, no. I mean, and it happens to the best of us, man. So
Yeah, and
take that L and you turn it to a W.
word, things have been a lot better since all that went down. I dyed my hair. I been doing better numbers with my music. Um, a lot of good things. And I tell myself, and I tell other people, I'm like, sometimes things have to get a lot worse before they can get better.
Right,
Like sometimes you gotta go down your lowest point so you can reach your highest. You gotta
right.
learn from these experiences that you go through in order to grow as a person. If you go through something and you don't take anything from it, you're just gonna go through that again.
It's if you're not learning your lesson, it's gonna repeat. It's a cycle. You gotta break the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Like if okay, let me use like a metaphor. Like if you're doing the dishes, right? And you're done with the dishes or whatever, and you go to eat off the plate, and the plate's still dirty, and you do dishes again, but doing the exact same way, they're gonna come out dirty every time.
You gotta
So,
find a new
so
way. Break that
you
dirt.
gotta. So what I've learned in my lifetime is to think for myself. Stop caring so much about. It's not bad to care about how people feel, but sometimes you gotta make these hard choices for yourself. If you're like in a friendship where they're just using you for attention, using you for like money or whatever, and you're just thinking, "Oh, I wanna break things off with this friend because I want to hurt their feelings." Well, dude, you're gonna keep on getting used, and I'm gonna keep on getting used. So I
Yeah.
gotta start making choices for myself, even though it hurts. But
I mean, I've been there. I mean, with parents, with friends, with whatever. It's like you constantly bend over backwards for people, and it will always end up kicking you in the ass because then you end up neglecting like your own needs and your own wants and your own things and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of other people. And
Mm-hmm.
I think what people don't take into perspective is like, you live this life once, presumably, and this life is your life. You're born. You come here by yourself and you die by yourself to some degree. You know, um, and with that, you have to prioritize yourself, not be unnecessarily selfish or anything like that, but
Yeah, exactly.
you can't be too selfless to where you're not doing anything for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Because when when I went through this breakup, right? My most recent, it was back in June. I dated her for 7 months. Everything. I gave her everything, dude. I spent over like almost $2,000 on this chick, dude. And she she would like constantly ask me for money. I constantly asked me to do things for her, and I would do it. I would do everything for her. And then yeah, I didn't care about what I needed. I didn't, help myself. I was neglecting myself and the things I needed to grow as a person, the things I needed to be happy, you know. It
Right.
got to a point, and then I allowed her, I did everything could to make her happy. I quit talking to my friends. I quit, I quit making music the same way because she got bothered by the way I was making my music. Because I would I would say baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my song, she's like, "You're calling other girls baby?" I'm like, dude, it's just a song, dude. It doesn't just I'm not saying it's just a song, it doesn't matter, but like I use metaphors a lot. Like when I'm talking about guns and stuff, it's a
Right.
metaphor.
Right.
Like like I said in my most recent song, I said, "I know I'm the one that's different. You told me to die, so I listened." I didn't really die. I'm talking
Right.
about like the person I used to be died, you know?
Right. It's all metaphorical analogies and stuff like that. I got you. Wordplay.
hmm But like I did all this for her, and when she left, and said I was the problem, said I wasn't listening to her, said I was childish. I was left with nothing. I'm like, I gave all of myself to this person, and I didn't take the time to think about myself and take care of myself. And now I'm sitting here crying in my room alone with nothing.
Right.
Obviously, I had my parents who were there for me, like, gosh, they had to see that. And like the aftermath of that, dude. I was broken. I was broken, and it really it sucked. But that's when I realized, dude, I'm caring so much about helping other people that I'm not helping myself. And it's like it's not to be selfish, but it's just sometimes you gotta take care of yourself too. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, who are you to take care of other people?
Right. And it's good that you took this painful experience and you took a lesson out of it and you applied it because now praying to God, God forbid that happens again, hoping that doesn't happen again. So, in whatever
hmm
future endeavors, future relationships, stuff like that, it's good. I feel like it's great to learn as early as possible. There's lessons that I feel like I've learned. There's lessons right now that you're discussing that you've learned at 16 that people don't learn ever in their lifetime. They don't learn till the 20, 40, fucking 30, 80, dead. They don't learn it. So it's always good to like really
Yeah.
be it's good to be in touch with these things, in my opinion, and try to really like
hmm
self work and improve as much as you can, and really like because a lot of people I feel like aren't in touch with anything. They don't care about like a lot of people don't believe in like lessons and cycles and spirituality and like anything of that sort. And like it's crazy, but
Yeah, and like I try to when I get the chance, I try to like express that to people and that take time. Like it's okay to just take time away and to like work on yourself and find out who you are, because that's a really important thing. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know where you stand. Like people are just scared to be themselves nowadays, and it sucks. Like I have a lot of people at school, and I know a lot of people in general who like are always caught up on like, oh, I'm not as pretty as everyone else. I don't dress like everyone else. I wanna act and dress and do things everyone else does. And I'm like, okay, it's one to do in high school. In high school, it doesn't matter. Like, because I'm telling you, after high school, you're not gonna see these people practically ever again. So these people you're living to impress, they're not gonna they honestly don't care. Like I go to school wearing my pajama pants, you feel me? People don't care. You know? I,
No,
I
yeah,
doubt that I doubt that people are going home thinking, oh man, look what Bobby wore today. People don't care, bro. They're just going home. Maybe like
they got their own
get
shit
on
to
their
do. They
phone.
got assignments. You got fucking finals. They got their own home life and their own social life and all these different things. You know. Damn, why am I so like choppy right now? Ooh. I'm like fucking like
Oh,
3 frames per second right now. Can it smooth out? Why is it doing that? Is my phone hot? Is my Wi-Fi shit? Hold up. Why is it doing this? Now it's gonna bother me like the whole time. Cause like, why is it doing that? Anyway, as long as you can hear me, we're good. But
I can hear you.
all right, cool. But no, yeah, overall, damn, it's really bothering me. Is my phone hot? It's like that was going on. You know, like shit. What the fuck?
I
Oh,
don't know, man.
but no, yeah, no, it's definitely high school is very minuscule, and people care about other people's opinions too much, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I don't give a fuck about nothing. I I judge myself. So if I ever restrict myself, it's because of my own judgment against myself. I don't give a fuck about nothing. And especially with high school, bro. It's so minuscule. Like I mean, there's people who peak in high school and will forever treat that like that was the greatest moment in their life. But in the real world, high school's fucking. So the fact that people like treat it so like it's so significant and prominent in their life and restricting them and what they want to do is so weird, you know?
Yeah, weird. And it's like for the longest time, I was like scared to go like because I got bullied a lot, man. I got like people poke shots at my body, people poke shots at the clothes I wear, people would make fun of my personality and everything they could find to make fun of me for, you know.
Right.
Um, I had a kid like literally I broke my arm in middle school. I wore a cast for like a couple of months, right? And I you know when you're wearing a cast, you can't really like you can't wash your arm, you know,
Right.
because there's a cast on it. You can't wash your arm. You can like spray deodorant and stuff on it, but that's not gonna help much. So obviously it's gonna, have a little weird smell to it. I had these kids come up to me and be like, "Oh man, you smell like man, you smell like crap, bro." And they're like, get his homies to come over here and smell me, and they would just laugh at me. And I'm like, dude,
Dude, I broke I broke my arm when I was 10 and I had the cast and the whole thing, bro, and the in between your fingers, it gets so fucking dirty. That shit bothered the shit out of me. I hated it.
yeah, I hated it too, man. It was bad. It was bad, man. And like it's like there wasn't much I could do to cover the smell. And like I wore my Converses for years, but I have a new pair, but
Right.
they would make fun of like because my shoe was kind of broken. And,
Mhm.
I didn't really have the luxury of just going out and buying expensive shoes like that, So I just had to stick with what I had, and they would just make fun of my shoes for breaking. I'm like, dude. So I became really self conscious all the time, and then like as like high school and like I think it was maybe my sophomore year came around. I kind of stopped caring.
Hold on, I'm just trying to fix this real quick. You can continue talking. Hey, look, low
Uh,
quality camera.
it's like I just stopped really caring about what everyone had to say about me, man. Because it's like honestly, like why would I try to be like everyone else if I don't like everyone else?
Right. Um, I'm just gonna keep this one on for now because this shit's fucking tweaking. So we'll just take this off. Like,
Yeah.
why is it doing that? Anyway, um, what was I gonna say? No, yeah, exactly. It's always, and I feel like with music and as an artist, bringing it back full circle, music as an artist too. The one thing I feel like you need to do if you want to be successful as any sort of artist or creator is be innovative and kind of march to the beat of your own drum and be an individual. You know,
Hmm.
so it
That's
definitely
like that's like it's like as an artist, I feel like everyone that I've associated myself with that are also artists, we all like look at the world a different way. You know, we look at everything from a perspective of an artist, and not everyone is an artist. You know,
Right,
so it's like obviously I'm gonna see these things differently than everyone else does. So obviously I'm gonna be different. You know, and I just be myself. I be who I am.
right.
And if
All
people
right.
don't like that, that's a them problem.
Right, exactly. That's the attitude I carry. It's like, fuck you, it's your problem if you don't fuck with me and how I fucking dress
Yeah.
or how I do whatever, how I handle anything. But
Mhm.
we are gonna move along. I want to talk about well actually we'll talk about one thing and then I'll kind of intertwine the last question with another question I had because they kind of fall under the same nature and then we're done. But
Yeah.
you talked about before when you were talking about a collective or talking about whatever, you talked about having like a video effects aspect of that collective, which brought me it planted a seed in my head earlier that I want to ask now about and I like to ask this what artists is like, do you well, I don't know. I haven't made myself too familiar with what you do or like what you have out. So is there any music videos out for Lone Dova? Or do you plan on definitely like entering that trying to do that, trying to like I
Mm.
guess expand on your discography and do more things outside of just strictly music?
Um, I've thought about that. I have only one music video that is out, and it's for my song called "Take My Heart," and I did all of it myself. I did the instrumental myself. I mixed it myself. I recorded the video myself on my phone, and then I edited it myself. I did it all myself. It's not that great, but it's something. And I've wanted to do other music videos like for a long time. I just don't really have the resources for a lot of things. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to do like shows. I want to do like there's just a lot of things I want to do, but I don't have the resources for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Um.
Yeah, I always like to ask because the same way you brought up earlier, like oh, like you like watching films and just binging films to take inspiration. I really like music videos for the same reason I like film and just to have a visual to accompany the sound. I feel like not
Mhm.
only not only is it cool and it's flashy and all these different things, but it also adds like an aspect of memorability. Like usually like I'll fuck with a song like and I'll kind of like remember it and then whatever. And I watched a music video and all of a sudden like I'm super fixated on this song and I remember the lyrics way better and stuff like that. Outside of all that, it's cool. It adds to like the whole thing you talked about earlier with like colors when you listen to
Yeah.
music and visuals and a vibe and emotion and you can capture more emotion than you already had in the song with the video. So it's cool, you know. I feel like
Yeah.
you being a very full of depth person and artist, I feel like it'd be good and cool and creative if you expanded on that aspect of things.
Yeah. That's definitely a plan in the future. It's just, when I get the opportunity to, I would definitely take that opportunity. It's just I'm not sure how to go about doing another music video. I mean, I have a friend who she says she wants to, get into like um m- making music videos and making that kind of content.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to help her out with that, but we just gotta set it up. But until then, we just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it doesn't take much. I feel like nowadays for a music video too. So all you need is a cell phone, some an iMovie or fucking CapCut, and you could really do something cool. You know?
Yeah, I edited my first music video on Shotcut on my computer. It's a free software. Has like grain effects. You can just place things where you want to, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I enjoy doing that.
Right. Um. No, yeah. So I'm just saying to see Lone Dova expand into music videos is something that I would want to see. But moving forward and wrapping things up now, we usually ask the same last question. Me. I asked last question for all episodes and stuff like that, but this one kind of intertwines because usually I'll be like, oh, outside of music, but this time within music too, because I was gonna ask a similar question earlier, but just put into this one. But anyway, Lone Dova, what do we have going on in the next day, week, month, year, decade, millennium, century, whatever?
Oh,
And usually, or you outside of music, but also within music, albums, EPs, music videos, merch, anything of the sort.
um, my birthday is in a month from today, which is today is December 21st, 2022. So my birthday is a month from now. I'll be turning 17. That'll be cool. And in 2 days from now, on December 23rd, my fifth album is releasing, Somber 2006. It'll be on all platforms, featuring it'll be featuring Leve, Fallacy ADD, and Cry to Jody and Poet, and it's fully produced by Caps Control and Puff, and that will be on all platforms. Um, and my goals for 2023 are to do at least two shows. I would love to do some performances. Um,
Have you ever
I
done
plan.
a performance before?
I've never done a show before. No, I've never done a show.
They're
Um,
I've been to a couple. I've never performed that one. I've been to a couple. They're really fun. You could definitely find some showcase shows too within like the South Carolina, North Carolina area, because Fiji has done one or two over there. So try to get yourself into one. That'd be cool.
I've me and Fallacy and Leve, we've been trying to plan a show out in South Carolina, but there's a couple of difficulties doing that with the venues we've been reaching out to. But yeah, we're trying to plan that for next year. If it doesn't happen, oh well. If it does happen, hooray, that'd be awesome.
All
But
right.
we just have to see what happens. But yeah, that's my plans for the future.
And very hopeful, and looks like you're on a very good incline right now. Especially like you already have great momentum, and we were talking about like like, for example, the fucking song you got sampled on, shit like that, and it really put things into perspective for like you as an artist and where you're going and where you're at. Because I'm not gonna lie, before this interview, I did not have much of a clue besides how to pronounce your name and stuff like that. I tried to. I went from like doing a lot of research on artists before I interview him to like doing barely any, so I can like learn with the audience as we like talk and shit like that.
Yeah,
So I'm here now like with a way better idea of you and stuff like that. And overall, I'm very happy to see where you go and what you do and how you progress. Um,
thank you.
yeah, man. Which overall leads me to thanking you for sitting with me for the last hour on this interview and talking about yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
um,
well, I
and
thank you for having me on the show.
yeah,
I
man.
think
Um,
the Cult
thank
of Personality podcast is the
yeah,
best podcast for underground music scene.
exactly. Which leads us to the little finish that we do now, which is that this was the Cult of Personality podcast hosted by yours truly, Mikeymcchoppa. With us today was Lone Dova. Thank you again for sitting with us for an hour. Viewers out there, if you're listening on SoundCloud, Apple Music, or Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching for the last hour. Um, this is season 3, episode 1. We got new episodes coming. I don't know who's next guest. I don't know when I'm uploading this, but I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays because that's why I didn't upload for a bit because I took a break. Hope you guys enjoyed your holidays. Hope you guys are having a happy new year because I don't know if this is going to be before or after the new year. 2023, what's up? Anyhow, overall, this is Cold Personality Podcast. We'll see you next week. Happy Mikey Monday. Peace out.